Ethics is the science of C. Conduct. The word ethics is derived from the Greek word ethos. Ethos means option C, character. The word mores means customs. Option B. The term right is derived from the Latin rectus. Option C. Rectus means straight. Option A. The term good is connected with the German term D. Gut. Ethics is a dash science, is a normative science. Normative science deals with standards. Option A. Aesthetics deals with the standard of option A. Beauty. Ethics deals with the standard of goodness. Option C. Logic deals with the norm of B. Truth. Positive science concerned with facts. Option A. Ethics is neither a practical science nor an art. This assertion is correct. Truth, beauty, and dash are considered as the principles of philosophy. Goodness. The applied dimension of ethics is known as applied ethics. Dash deals with the logical and semantic questions like what do we mean by freedom and determinism? Metaethics. Ethics determines rightness or wrongness of human actions. When we say that conduct is right, we mean primarily that it is according to rule. A thing is generally said to be good when it is valuable for some end. Positive science deals with the judgments of facts, while ethics is concerned with the judgments of value. Logic deals with the correctness of option A, thought. Ethics deals with the correctness of option A, conduct. Dash is not a normative discipline. Metaphysics is not a normative discipline. Ethics deals with the standards to describe right and good. Ethics is concerned the dash to judge human conduct, standards. Logic, ethic, and aesthetics. These three sciences are essentially cognate. Ethics investigates the nature of its fundamental notions like right, duty, and good. Ethics considers the dash of goodness, standard of goodness. Morality consists of goodness, which is really an intrinsic end. Dash is a collective name for voluntary. Dash is a sense of longing for a person. Desire. Human desire is the fundamental motivation of all human action. Whose views is this? तो ये हॉब्स का व्यू है. Consciousness of dash is called an appetite, an organic need. Who defines an instinct as an inherited psychophysical disposition? McDowell. The desires that predominate or continue to be effective is called a wish. Option A. Dash, a conscious mental process which moves a man to act in a particular way. Motive. Option D. The term intention corresponds the term purpose. Option B. The whole willed scheme of action which is anticipated by the doer is called intention. According to Mackenzie, the formal intention means the dash embodied in fact, principle embodied in fact. The particular result as a result fact is material intention. The remote intention of an act is sometimes called a motive. Option A. The motive means, of course, what moves us or causes us to act in a particular way. Who asserted this? Mackenzie said this. A person's conduct corresponding to his dash is character. Desire is a sense of longing for a person for an outcome. Hobbes asserted that human desire is the dash of all human action, fundamental motivation. An intention which the agent does not definitely oppose to himself is called unconscious intention. When a man acts blindly without considering the end or result of his action, such action is called impulsive action. A motive dash is mental process, a conscious mental process. Sucking of the thumb by a child is a habitual action. McDougall defines an instinct as dash psychophysical disposition, an inherited psychophysical disposition. Human beings share some kinds of needs with the lower animals and even with the plants are called organic needs. Dash is the general term for the theories that regards happiness, hedonism. Hedonism, the term derives from the Greek word hedon. Hedon means option C, delight. Hedonism is a school of thought that argues that is the only intrinsic good, a player. According to the nature of seeking pleasure, hedonism can be divided broadly into a psychological hedonism and ethical hedonism. Men always seek pleasure. This position is known as psychological hedonism. Men ought to seek pleasure. The position is known as ethical hedonism. Each man seeks or ought to seek his own pleasure. This type of ethical hedonism is called egoistic ethical hedonism. The theory which holds that the right action is for that produces the great happiness for all is universal ethical hedonism. The most influential contributor to universal ethical hedonism is John Stuart Mill. Universalistic ethical hedonism The dash is a method of counting the amount of pleasure and pain that would likely be caused by different actions, hedonistic calculus. Option D. The hedonic calculus is a method of counting the amount of dash that would likely be caused by different actions, pleasure and pain. Who introduced the method of hedonic calculus? Bentham. Dash refers to the likelihood that the pleasure or pain will occur, a certainty. Option A. Dash refers to how long away the pleasure or pain is, propinquity. Option C. Dash refers to the likelihood of the pleasure or pain leading to more the same, that is option B, fecundity. Dash refers to the likelihood of the pleasure or pain leading to some of the opposite sensation. Option B, purity. Dash refers to the number of people the player or pain is likely to? Option D, extent. Dash refers to the felt strength of the player or pain intensity. Dash refers to how long the player or pain or felt duration. Hedonic calculus of Bentham is a 7-point calculus. Hedonism, which focuses the quantity of player rather than the quantity, is called quantitative hedonism. Bentham's version of hedonism is known as quantitative hedonism. J.S. Mill's version of hedonism is known as qualitative hedonism. Mill argues that dash are superior to physical forms of pleasure. Now, moral pleasures are superior to physical forms of pleasure. Mill made dash separation of pleasures, qualitative separation of pleasures. Mill argued that pleasures could vary in quality. According to J.S. Mill, lower pleasures are those associated with the body. According to J.S. Mill, higher pleasures are those associated with the mind. According to J.S. Mill, dash pleasures are those associated with the mind. Higher pleasures are those associated with the mind. According to J.S. Mill, dash pleasures are those associated with the body. Lower pleasures are those associated with the body. Mill justified dash pleasures are more valuable than bodily pleasures. Intellectual pleasures are more valuable than bodily pleasures. Mill's theory of hedonism focuses the quality of the pleasure rather than the quantity, so it is called qualitative hedonism. Laws of dash can be violated but cannot be changed. Ethics. The laws of A. According to Immanuel Kant, the moral law is known as intuitively. Option C. According to Immanuel Kant, moral law is a priori. According to Immanuel Kant, moral law is B. Self-evident. According to Kant, the moral law is categorical imperative. According to Kant, a natural law is assertorial. Kant argues that categorical imperative is the dash it applies to all persons, a universal moral law. According to Kant, dash is the fundamental postulate of morality. A freedom of the will is the fundamental postulate of morality. Free will is implied by a morality. Who argues this? D. Kant. Kant's ethic doctrine is formalism. Kant's ethical theory is called option B. Deontology. Kant assumes that dash are the only two motives of actions: duty and self.